excited for that. I'm excited that after the next 100 years, we'll just be talking about. They'll be talking about people like you, me, and Marcus. They'll be talking about individuals who are making real impact today in 100 years from now. So that's pretty cool.
All right, now, so Mary Dean Esquire here going live with D. Martell Matthews and D. Marcus Powers, because Black wealth is critical to Black power. So we doing our thing. So let me ask you this: do you think the goal of Carter G. Woodson, the goal that he had 100 years ago, has been achieved, or is it still work to do?
It's always work to do, man. You ain't never finished. You can never get complacent. You can never look back at what you've done and stop figuring thinking that you got more work to do in front of you. So yeah, there's always more work to do. 100 years is not that long. You know, Dr. King got assassinated about 50, 60 years ago. So that wasn't that long either. So, you know, they was, you know, had the dogs out biting us, spraying us with water hoses. All types of stuff was happening just not that long ago. So yeah, no, I think that being a part of where we're at now just means that we got way more work to do. I actually feel like we're not doing enough because we're not making enough money online. I feel like it's a lot of us. We've been focused on going to get the bag, which is great. Sometimes you know that was an old goal, but now we need new goals. I want a lot of us to, you know, Black History Month, going forward to not just set goals to go get the bag, but learn how to make, create, and generate stuff online. Not just money, but stuff, because the world's being created around us. So yeah, that's what I don't see us doing enough work right now. I see us doing more in the future. So it was never enough.
Speaking of the work, excuse me, speaking of the work that you think that we should be doing more work online, shout out to our master class that we got running, that we started this past month in January. We kicked off to a nice, good old start, and we'll be doing one the last Saturday of this month, right?
Yep, yep. The last Saturday of every month, we do these master classes. We've been doing them since COVID-19, teaching people how to accidentally make some money online. Because everybody don't want to make money online. There's only 16% of people making money online. So if you want to be a part of that 16%, you can actually go on Black Wall Street Instagram page and DM the word business and register for our master classes where you see the likes of Mary Dean. She's on there dropping these legendary legal structure business gems that any business and entrepreneur can use. You got Martell, he on there dropping the insurance guru tips and tricks that every family and individual needs. And then I'm just on there teach you all the strategies that we've been using in my brand since 2012 to make all this money online and stuff. So you got to tap in to win. Again, DM the word business on Black at Wall Street Instagram page to tap in. But yeah, Mary, and you did amazing last weekend. You did amazing last weekend. I know there's a lot of people they didn't even want to get off the car. They want to stay on and get more gems from you. But we had to cut a show. You know what I'm saying? We had to cut a show.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because what's my favorite quote? You are not what you say you're going to do. You are what you actually do, right? And I know sometimes, as we've been gearing up to this moment, Martell Matthews, you sent me something that was really profound. Something about perfectionism paralysis. you know, Sometimes we can tweak it so much and we're trying to be so perfect that we are not doing. We're talking and we're not doing. So shout out to this trio right here for doing the things we say that we are going to do.
That
And
part.
one of our goals is to definitely help you make more money and make more money in your black owned business.
So Mary, you asked, are we doing enough as a community, right?
Yes.
And I have to say that my answer is yes. And the answer is we can do more. The answer is yes. Listen, sometimes we are overly hard on ourselves. We were in slavery for over 300 years. We've only been out for 150. So technically, our generations have been were enslaved longer than we've been out of slavery. For us to be halfway there, I think we're doing things. Now, can we pick it up and continue to elevate? Yes, but that's what this looks like in real time. Having calls and conversations like this, having webinars that people can join the last Saturday of every month, which we've been doing for over 5 years, right? Shout out to my boy Globalpreneur Marcus Bowers TV since 2020 when COVID we're getting better and better, but we are also already doing immaculate. So us as a people, we have to start giving ourselves a pat on the back for the things that we're doing and continue to uplift each other because we are doing great when you think about the whole scheme of things, right?
Oh, I just love that. I love that perspective because when we talk about manifesting and the law of attraction and having to be, we have to acknowledge where we come from and what we're already doing so that we can, grow and manifest what more we want to see done. So here's the question. What advice would you give to an inspiring entrepreneur in the beauty industry, Marcus Bowers, somebody that's wanting to come up in the beauty industry like you? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, don't be like me. Be better than me. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you do first off. You know what I'm saying? You got to set your goals a little higher. You know what I'm saying? Reach for the stars, bucko. I would say this. The beauty industry, let me, I don't want to, throw out a number. The beauty industry is $1 trillion industry. You know what I'm saying? Something along those lines. I know when I jumped in, it was just a billion. Now it's probably about 1 trillion. So that means that it's big enough for everybody. I would say that there's more than enough to go around. If you see somebody doing something and they winning, then you can do it too, but you can also do it different and be innovative when you jump into that type of industry. So whether it's the hair industry, you want to do nails, you want to do makeup, you want to you want to sell hair, you want to style hair, install hair, whatever it is that you want to do in the beauty industry, the spa treatments, it's so much and it's wide open. And so what I would say is jump into something that would allow you to expand and scale, something that you can do in every city and state, and try to sell something that you can sell to people that's in every house, something that everybody needs, not just once, but for the rest of their life. And not just one person on the family tree, but everybody in the household. So when you find something that everybody needs in the house to maintain their beauty, not just the men, not just the women, not just the kids, but everybody, then that's the product that I would jump into because, the goal is to get as much data as you can and talk to as many people as you can without them being in front of you to get them to buy your stuff on repeat. Then the other thing is whatever product I would choose, I would make sure it's a subscription model because in order to get all the money, you got to do what the billionaires are doing. You want to be a billionaire, you got to do what the billionaires are doing. And so a lot of the billionaires got subscriptions. Whatever you selling, I would probably sell it on a subscription too. And that's it. It's so much more, but definitely if I'm in the beauty industry, that's one of the industries, one of the many in the U.S. that I think is always going to be wide open. It's a commodity. Even during COVID, Mary, we went from $11 million in sales to $16 million in sales in the midst of COVID-19 because no matter what's going on around you, you still want to look good doing it and going through it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to She's Happy Hair. Shout out to the team.
Okay, she is definitely happy about her hair, $16 million. Okay, so Mr. Matthews, why is insurance such a critical but overlooked piece of wealth building in the black community?
Wonderful question. So our community for years, we have been sold and told that when we used to go to church and everything, it's like, hey, heaven, you'll get to heaven one day. Like when you pass away, then you'll get to heaven, right? But the reality is, right now is our time to appreciate our heaven. Right now is our time to live and appreciate our life, and you can utilize insurance, life insurance, with the living benefits to help live a better life, right? A lot of times, Mary, people think that insurance is only for when you die, and it's not, right? Insurance is actually to be utilized while you're here as well when you set it up properly. So for me, well, for myself and my story, some of y'all know my story. In 2010, I was 21 years old. Mother passed away 4 days before I returned to my football camp at Trinity University, starting football team, captain of the team. And when my mom passed away, that impacted me heavily, right? And at the time, I only had a $10,000. My mom only had a $20,000 policy. That policy, that was only $20,000, helped me afterwards. $12,000 went to her funeral costs. I moved to Barcelona, Spain, lived in Barcelona with the extra $8,000 that I had, and was able to somewhat still go through my grieving process and at least have something. I just set up a family yesterday with a $3 million policy. You put the wife with $1 million and both of the kids with $250,000. So when the day happens, when something happens to them, I only had $20,000 when my mom passed, right? The kids that I just set up yesterday will have 3 million, a million when something happens. And unfortunately, one day we all have to go. But I want people, especially our people, but all people, to understand that you still prosper when on the worst day of life, at least you have something to help you be balanced out, and finances isn't something you have to worry about. So that's why Mary and Marcus is so important for people to get this set up and get insurance set up for them. And if they have any questions, they can go to my Instagram at Martell Takes Charge and comment the word legacy or DM me legacy, and they can have a complimentary consultation with me and my team. But that's why it's important.
Okay, can you dig? Because I can definitely dig all of those things. Can we say on God with black power? I love it. I love it.
Now, Mary, I got a question for you, Mary, because I mean, because you know, you Black History now. You know what I'm saying? First off, let's start here. We are on Black Wall Street Wednesday, and we got Mary, Martell, and Marcus again, all in the same spot remotely because we busy. We couldn't just drive to no studio and make it happen. We got stuff to do, but we want to bring this information to you at the same time, bring this energy to you at the same time. And Mary, Wall Street com. You actually own blackwallstreet.com. So one, you're a domainer. I don't know if you know what that is, but you're a domainer. Domainers are people that go around claiming different .coms, different .nets, and different .orgs, and they sit on them kind of like Monopoly because they know that one day this website, this domain name is going to be worth something. And so somebody was sitting on blackwallstreet.com, and somehow, somewhere, you wouldn't grab that son of a gun. And now it's yours, and people can go to blackwallstreet.com and read and see whatever it is you're offering to the people. So let's talk about how historical it is and was for you to even grab that domain, because anything you want to do it online too. You know, and for people to take you seriously, they got to be able to find you online too. And that's what we can do with you. So talk about that, Mary.
Okay, well, so for all of you who don't know me, I am Mary Dean Esquire at thewallstreetlawyer.com. And so, yeah, okay, I like the .coms, okay? And so, as being the wallstreetlawyer.com, I definitely cut my teeth on Wall Street. Uh, Born in Texas, but made in New York. I tell everybody that all the time. And so, blackwallstreet.com cost me $75,000. I didn't buy it early and sat on it. I bought it from somebody who bought it early and sat on it. But it's one of those things where it's fine and dandy for you to say, I want to do this. I want to be this movement. I want to be about the business of my people. I want to help move the needle forward when it comes to black entrepreneurs. Hi, I am Mary Dean Esquire, and I only want to work with black business owners. And so purchasing that domain was me putting my money where my mouth is. My mouth is. And I tell you this, that was not the only thing that I purchased. The other big transformative thing that I purchased was, for those of you who don't know, lawyers have to maintain, in order to maintain our bar cards and continue to practice in the great state of Texas and New York, I have to take CLE, Continuing Legal Education. And so I invested into continuing legal education where I went and got all this knowledge about corporate compliance and what it takes to make sure your business is buttoned up in such a way that you are protected on a maximum level. And so that's where we came up with our signature Black Wall Street legal, insurance, financial, and tax systems to make sure your business can be lifted to the next level. Clock that T. And then let me tell you this. You lean in for this. I didn't just stop there. Another thing that I invested in was an actual sales course. Because I don't care if you have all your business buttoned up, if your business ain't making no money, what are you gonna do? You ain't making no doggone money. You only get, who cares if you got all the contracts but ain't nobody signing none? So I invested in another sales course, which is what we're starting the Black Wall Street Challenge with, is a sales challenge to help you actually generate revenue in your black owned business. So we ain't just talking about it over here, we're actually being about it, and we want to make sure that you be about it too.
Now, when people want to be about it, sometimes they try and be about it by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So before we, I'm all about entrepreneurship, but a lot of people, especially as an example, Uncle Nearest. Y'all heard of that brand, winery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yep.
going on with that. And Mary, you being a lawyer, I just had to bring this to the forefront. You know, I was gonna bring up Jeffrey Epstein, but I was like, it's Black History Month, so let's stick to you know what I'm saying, the black side of things. So, Uncle Nearest is actually in litigation, right? They're in litigation. There's a lot going on. I've heard that some have wanted to sell, some have wanted to move forward, but it's a lot going on in that business dispute. So y'all want to kind of talk about that a little bit? Y'all have any insight?
Well, I will say this: what the insight, which is very sad to me for Black entrepreneurs, right? This is why I implore you and I want to empower you to start your own business because a lot of the time we are always the secret sauce. They start the business, even like when it came to beauty, which is why I love that Marcus Bowers is in the hair business because the it's our we're the consumer, so we should definitely be on the other side of that table. So with this guy, he really was just a glorified mascot, right? But his recipe, the reason why the meat is falling off the bone, right?
Ah,
And so they wouldn't have gotten the publicity or even the actual product that is making the money. They wouldn't have that if it wasn't for him. But instead of him doing that for himself in his own business with his own brand, making his own dollar, he is nothing more than a glorified mascot who owns nothing and controls nothing. And quite frankly, he's being taken advantage of.
and see, go ahead, Tell.
So I want to add to so tenderism, tenderism, baby. It's
Yes.
tenderism. How important is it? Like one thing I love about our people is we got this culture where we're able to create things that the rest of the world want to be a part of. Everybody wants to come up with or be a part of hip hop black culture, right? We really do run the world. But while we're running the world, one thing that a lot of us tend not to do is get our business in order, get our things in alignment, right? You come up with such an amazing term like tenderism. You know, everything tender, but you don't get it actually trademarked. You don't protect your EP, your intellectual property, IP, your intellectual property, right? How important is it? And I want to kick it to you, Miss Black Wall Street lawyer, and even kick it to you on how other people that's listening in today could actually take the steps to get whatever their tenderism brand is secured and trademarked. How important is it for creators, entrepreneurs, and business owners to get their logos and their brands secured with a trademark?
Well, it's so important that we throwing it in the class. I didn't even want to include it as something separate because it is so important. How are you going to be able to make money in your business? You're bringing in this revenue, but you don't even own your own name. You don't even own your own name. You don't own your own brand name. You don't own your own logo. You don't own your own name. And so you blow up. You don't. Somebody else goes and trademarks your brand name, and now you can sell it back to you for $75,000.
Hey, that happened with Nicki Minaj. That happened with Nicki Minaj. She actually, when she came out as an artist, she was getting popular and everything, and somebody went and bought NickiMinaj.com, and she had to buy it back from them, or I don't even think she owned it. Like if you go to NickiMinaj.com right now, I don't even think it might not be her site, but it's crazy that that's a thing. But go ahead, it's crazy.
So wow, wow. So that's the importance of your name. Your name is everything. Your name is your brand name. That's your brand equity, right? I'll tell people all the time, what separates McDonald's from the mom and pop store around the corner, right? Especially when you know Big Mama Burger at the mom and pop store around the corner tastes a lot better than McDonald's, right? But McDonald's has created a system for delivering the same branded burger to billions of people across the globe. That's number one. And number two, all McDonald's really is their brand, the brand, and then those business systems, the brand. And so if McDonald's did not own Golden Arches, there you have it.
Right.
Mary J.
And
That's right here going live with Martell Matthews at Martell Takes Charge and Mr. Marcus Bowers TV. Make sure you follow them and follow them on Instagram. Okay, go ahead, Martell. I won't cut you off.
so I was going to say that, over the last 10 years, I've been able to help millions of black owned business owners grow and automate and set up their systems because truly that's what takes you to the next level. Mary and Marcus, before 2020, 2020, I was still working in corporate America. I worked for different corporations like Enterprise, Oyo, ADP, Automatic Data Processing, being a territory manager. And when the pandemic hit, I was in hospitality. I was actually going and interviewing hotel owners and purchasing their hotel to my company's brand Oyo, right? So I was literally buying hotels. I remember feeling like I was playing Monopoly. Y'all ever play Monopoly? When you land on like the boardwalk or you land somewhere, you buy that land. So that's what I felt like I was doing. But then when the pandemic happened, I went full time into entrepreneurship. And when I went full time into entrepreneurship, I found out that my hard work did not lend the same results as it did in corporate America. This is what I mean. In corporate America, I could work long hours, hard work, and close deals and bring home more money for my family. In entrepreneurship, that hard work would only generate me maybe $15,000 a month, right? To get to the 50,000 a month and more, I had to set up a system and automations to grow my brand. And so this question right here is actually for Marcus, because Marcus has been able since 2012 to now to go from $800 to over 100 million, which very few people in America or in the world has ever been able to make over $100 million with a brand. And so, Marcus, I want to know how was it that when you're putting the right systems in place to create a wave that brought y'all over $100 million as a brand?
Well, one, it's about the trademark stuff that Mary was talking about, and the IP stuff and the domain stuff. You got to claim your digital real estate first. A lot of times we focus on going to get the bag, but it's another thing to create that authority online, to have that digital footprint. We was online prior to everybody else doing stuff like posting on Craigslist.com and also using the green sheet, because Craigslist was, where you could go and see stuff online, but the green sheet was where you could go and read stuff on Earth. And so we was kind of double dipping and being hybrid at the same time. And so we didn't just focus on the oxygen world, but we focus on online as well. So you want to do both. Now with that, we jumped in with a heart. We jumped in caring about the community. We jumped in not just the digital systems, but the physical systems. You got to ask people to come do some things with you, and then they got to know that you care about them too. And so we had those systems on Earth set in place first. And then after we got the systems on Earth, it's like, all right, well, let's stop doing these things repeatedly that we've done on Earth to transact and to put the smiles on all these people's faces and to make all these women and children happy. Let's start automatically doing these things. And so we started figuring out a new word that was called automations. Automations is still a new word for a lot of people. The word automation is new to a lot of people on Earth. When you go to the family reunion and you get a chance to grab the microphone, you ask auntie them and uncle them, do they know what an automation is? And they're going to be like, nah, they ain't going to know. And so you want to tell the family tree what an automation is and what they can automatically be doing online, which is making money. You ain't got to work. You can clock in and win, man. You can just set it and forget it and watch the money automatically come in. Or you can automatically do some things that you repeatedly find yourself doing. And that's what automations are. So we set a bunch of automations throughout She's Happy Here to make it to where we didn't have to keep doing the things that we were doing yesteryear. Now, once you do that, that frees you up to go do other great things. So that allowed the team to be spread thin everywhere else, because all the things that we found ourselves doing repeatedly was automatically getting done. Now, when you get these systems in place, you want to come with like what we call a software stack. No matter what you do, you want to do it online too. And the only way to do it is what I call a software stack, meaning like Google, PayPal, your social media, your website, your CRMs. You can ask ChatGPT what top tools every digital entrepreneur needs in today's digital landscape, and it's going to shout them out. And you can follow that checklist. One of the biggest things on the checklist is going to be a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. Now, once you do that, call me, and then I'm going to give you all the strategies and everything you need to prompt your CRM to give you the results that you want to make money online, no matter what industry you in. No matter what industry you in. So, yeah, systems are very important, and that's all we did, man. We went and started utilizing and learning the systems that the billionaires were using, and then bringing them to our industry and using them in our lives, not just in the industry, not just in business. I use short codes and CRMs for my family. I use a lot of these tools that I'm using in business for my family as well, because business is life, life is business. They all coincide. But the systems that you need, one of the main ones is going to be that CRM, Martell. And look, data over dollars. That's one of my mindsets. Data over dollars. If you want to tap in, I got these webinars like they were saying. You're going to see all these same faces on the webinar. DM the word data. Go follow me on Marcus Bowers TV, and you go accidentally make some money online for sure.
So speaking of books, I got something for you, Mary. Hold on. Speaking of books, right? I think that books are one of the most important things for us as a people to get more into. I know we had a BlackWallStreet.com book right here. One of my favorite authors is Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he also wrote another book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And in the book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, he talks about 4 quadrants of individuals. You are the employee, the self-employment, a business owner, and an investor. And so it's 4 different places, right? An employee can be a professional, someone who as a professional, high-level professional, such as yourself, Miss Mary Dean, Esquire, who is a lawyer, but now you are not just a high-level employee. You've transitioned into business owner and investor as well, right? So what I would like to hear from you, because it's millions of people who are working a job still and are in corporate America, right? What was it like for you, Miss Mary, to go from being a lawyer and now being a business owner? How is that transition there?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because when I started my business, I had a full-time job. Because when I started I became a staff attorney for aid to victims of domestic abuse. And they said, look, ma'am, I'm like, how much do you want to get paid? I want about not 6 figures. I need 6 figures. And they say, well, we can't afford it. It ain't in the budget. So if you want that, then what you can do though, is you can have a business on the side. So they allowed me to have a full-time job, and then they allowed me to take on private cases. So I got my 6 figures out the mud. And so as I kept moonlighting my business on the side, one day I didn't need the business on the side. I didn't need the job anymore, and I was able to do my business full time. So that was how my transition went.
Got it. And make your main hustle your side hustle until your side hustle makes you enough money to make your main hustle your side hustle, right? Don't just quit your job. Keep it, use it. Let your job income be your investor to invest into your dream. I love that, Mary.
Yep. And if you want help putting foundational systems into your Black-owned business, comment the word masterclass below, and we'll send you the link, because we're teaching that masterclass at the end of the month.
Now, what do y'all think about, because you just said something about a quadrant, Martell. What's that quadrant again?
The cash flow quadrant. It is employees, self-employment, the business owner, and investor.
Okay. I've been all of those, man. I like all of those. Employee, I love being an employee. That's why you're able to, learn how to manage your team. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna learn how to manage your team and run your company if you never been an employee? So I be hearing people like, I ain't never working for nobody. And I'm like, that's all I did growing up was work for people. You know what I'm saying? All I did was apply for jobs. Like I was a professional job applier. You know what I'm saying? And then my mindset changed and I started learning how to create jobs instead of learning how to apply for jobs. But I want to talk to the solopreneurs real quick. I want the solopreneurs to know you can't do it by yourself, baby. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it by yourself. I want to drop a gem for y'all real quick. If you the CEO of yourself, if you're a solopreneur, one of the main things you need to do, 1, if you don't have a CRM, get one. Get you a CRM. 2, understand, because you want to talk to people that's not in front of you to get them to do what you want them to do, no matter what industry you're in, right? That's why you want to get a CRM. You want to go around repeating yourself all the time to all them people you want to do what you want to do. So get a CRM. The second most important thing in business that everybody forgets about, all the solopreneurs, all of the CEOs of themselves and all that, they forget about HR. Mary, they forget about HR. Nobody understands the importance of human resource, how to run an HR department. Put your HR hat on, man. Become an administrator. Learn how to hire, recruit, incentivize, manage, lead, meet with, inspire, encourage. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you got to do in order to keep the team around you, right? Now, when you do that, now you can do more because you got 10, 20, 30, 40s of yous running around doing what you was doing by yourself. I'm talking to somebody today, man. We're going to church. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Now here's the thing, though. Before you go get the team, because even as you're getting the team, I think that it brings me back full circle to the importance of systems. Because you're hiring people, but if you don't have a handbook to give them, if you don't have your systems, your automations written down to be able to pass along. You hiring all these people, but they're running around like a chicken with his head cut off because you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And so that's, put these systems in place that you can hand off. This is how we answer the phone. This is how we do intake. This is how we do onboarding. This is how we draft our motions. This is how we do this. This is how we do that. And so then, I think that that's just as important as hiring, as delegating.
If you find yourself repeating yourself, then you need to put it in black and white. After the black and white, you can set a little AI of yourself and have it a video where they can just press play on the orientation, on the onboarding, instead of repeating yourself. Go ahead, Tel. It's crazy.
Yeah, Marcus and Mary, I agree with both of you. I believe that you do need to hire people, and I believe you do need to have systems for when you hire those people. I think that most solopreneurs who want to get into being a real CEO and a real entrepreneur, having people work for them, typically need someone to talk to even draw out those systems, right? So I'm gonna give everybody that's listening to me right now 3 websites that you can go to hire somebody at an affordable rate, anywhere from $6 an hour all the way up to $10, $15 an hour, that you can hire you a virtual assistant, and that person can be the person who you just take 2 to 3 weeks to set up your systems with just by you asking questions with them. So I'm gonna give you 3 websites. One website is Upwork.com. UPWORK.com. You can go to Upwork.com. You can put an application out for free. People will give you a proposal to be your virtual assistant or build your website, do whatever you need, and then you can check them out. The second website you can go to is called OnlinePH.com. Now, this website is specifically for the Philippines. OnlinePH.com. You can hire people to work as your virtual assistant. Again, websites, content creators, graphic designers. My third website for you is Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com, right? Fiverr.com is another platform. You can go online, hire people, and get help while you still got your job, right? When you get off work at 5 o'clock, you hop on the phone at 6 o'clock to 7 for 5 days, 10 days straight, and work with that virtual assistant in ChatGPT to create all of the systems that you need before you hire more people. So I just had to drop that.
Hey, you know what's crazy, Tel? A lot of people don't know. When we started She's Happy Hair, man, I ain't know how to do no graphic design. Wasn't no Canva out. We ain't had no digital artists within reach. But I got shout out to Brandon Bird. My boy Brandon Bird introduced me to Fiverr.com. I remember where we was at when he told me about it. That boy was like, hey, this thing called Fiverr.com. I'm like, what's Fiverr.com? He said, man, you get whatever you want for $5. I say, what? I said, what? I said, well, I was on there. I started hiring all type people on there, man. And now She's Happy Hair is a thing, right? So again, when somebody's shouting out a tool that you can use, you want to go and learn about it and implement it fast. What happens is we get some new information and we take a note. And then that's it. That's all we do. We just take a note. You know what I'm saying? We got to start taking notes and implementing and going back and rereading the notes that we took as if we got a test coming up. Because you do. You do. This life, this business, you always got a test coming up. You want to pass, not fail. One thing that I wanted to circle back to was Nicki Minaj. I looked at it. Her website is NickiMinajOfficial.com. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because Nicki Minaj was already taken. And so if you can hear the sound of my voice, go claim your name right now before it's too late. Before I claim it. I'm going to go claim your TikTok handle. And then you're going to have to come buy it back from me. Or somebody go claim your Instagram handle. And then your Instagram name going to be Marcus_Bowers. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the underscore person. Go claim your digital real estate. And look, it's Black History Month, right? We are letting them erase our history, man. Martell, right now we got people in office that's like erasing our history, and we don't even know. They talking about critical race theory. They changing the way we can do business on and offline, and you know, a lot of us are gonna get left behind if we're not sharing this information. So I'm glad to be on this call with y'all, man.
Okay, speaking of erasing our history and changing the history, I went to the museum yesterday. For those of you that don't know, the museums are free on Tuesdays, and you have to pay extra to go into some of the other big exhibits. And so the ones I wanted to go to, of course, they weren't free. So anyway, I go to the museum. I go see the King Tut's exhibit. It is wonderful, guys. You definitely should see it. I thought maybe we should do a field trip and take all our Black Wall Street crew and go over there to the museum and go, Black Power, I'm here to see the king. I'm here to see the king. Okay, but I digress. So I'm there, and I'm just, I'm honored to be able to have the moment to be able to walk in here and see some of these relics, right? And it's a wonderful, spiritual, deeply emotional thing to do. But as I'm looking, I also feel bad because I feel like somehow I don't know if we should have these things. That didn't feel natural. And so I'm standing there next to a Caucasian man, and we're talking about it. And I wonder why they cut he said that these are not the originals, these are replicas. That was his words. And I said, well, if they're replicas, why wouldn't they do the actual statue? Why are they putting them up here with the nose missing? Why would they break the nose? And he says they didn't break the nose. Those noses fell off. They broke on their own. And then I looked at him, and I looked at him and realized he was a white man, because I said, well, history determines on who tells the story, because we know they broke those noses intentionally.
Every time you get an opportunity to correct someone in history, you should. I think you should. Yeah, don't because you don't want them going around repeating none of that, man. Maybe you were told wrong, maybe you got it wrong, maybe you didn't pass that question on the exam. But let me correct that for you. So you can go forward more knowledgeable on the U.S. history, because it's not just Black history. It's the U.S. history. They trying to erase our history, man. Martell, what you think about the erasure of Black history? You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
I think the reason why people like organizations like Black Wall Street are important is because his story is whoever won tells the story. They tell history, right? Whoever won. And we're winning now. We are the new winners. We are the ones winning in real time. And so there are people who are tapped in, Marcus, who hear about our history, right? They want it right now. They're kids, they're young adults, they're elderly individuals who are living in America and all over the globe, right? From Africa, Spain to Canada, who want to know about the real history of Black people and of real people right now. So I believe that, yes, the opposition is doing what the opposition is supposed to do. They are trying to erase us because that's what the opposition does. I believe that a lot of us we've been rocked to sleep in America, similar to when like Dr. Martin Luther King last two speeches. If you go look at his last speeches, he said, I fear that I am taking my people into a burning house. He was telling us, right? He was switching up and explaining what was happening, but all we talk about is his dream. His last speeches weren't talking about the dream. He was talking about the right now. And because of that, we in our subconscious minds think dream more than we do the reality, right? And so it's on us to understand that there is an opposition, and the opposition is doing what they're supposed to do. And we, as the opposing to their forces, it's on us to take responsibility and do what we're supposed to do, which is tell our history, make our history, and continue to move forward.
Man, hey man, instant Black history. Look, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, how far are we supposed to go back when we think about Black history? Because in school, it seemed like they only went back to like the 60s or 70s or something. You know what I'm saying? They went back a little while, probably the 20s or something. But it ain't go where I don't know nobody from the 18-somethings just off the top of the dome. Everybody I think about in the 1900s. And we've been Black longer than that. You know what I'm saying? Where the rest of the history at, man? I'm telling you, don't let them do it to us. And the only way to not let them erase our history is to create more. Create more. Give them some more work to do, man. You erase that, don't worry about it. We got some more history coming soon. You know what I'm saying? You got to get some more erasers. You got to run out of erasers. You ever seen a pencil that without the eraser at the top, you almost want to throw it away, right? It's like, man, it don't even work no more. That's how we want them going through life, where they just, you know what I'm saying, just throwing away the pencils because it's just too much work to erase. Now, I want to shout myself out because I don't never be blamed, you know, bragging or nothing, you know what I'm saying? But, right, little Black history over here. I'm sitting there thinking, like, Marcus, you are Black history, brother. You know what I'm saying, Marcus? You are Black history. Let me tell you something. It ain't me. Let me tell you what ChatGPT said. I ain't said. This is what ChatGPT said. I said, hey, you know, what makes She's Happy Hair historical, you know, whatever. It says, the history of She's Happy Hair and why it's considered instant Black history. She's Happy Hair is more than a hair company. It's a modern case study in Black ownership, culture, economics, and digital era wealth building. Wealth building because what we're doing is the strategies that we're using inside of She's Happy Hair, you can use anywhere. So once you understand these principles, you can take them to any industry and build wealth. That's why I'm so confident. That's why you see me teaching as if there's an abundance to go around, as if I'm not trying to withhold the information and I just want to share it, to give it to anybody that want to listen to it. We founded She's Happy Hair in 2012 during the rise of social media commerce, direct-to-customer brands, and influencer-led purchasing behavior. Y'all don't know this, but let me tell you. People wasn't using influencers like we was. You had Pepsi using, I think, Michael Jackson, or, you know, you had a couple people using different influencers like that, but not the small-time brands like ours, right? But we started using the Bad Girls Club girls. Y'all didn't know that. We started using Bad Girls Club girls, and they were online and on TV, and we were able to use their influence to grow our brand nationwide. That's something for y'all, you know what I'm saying? And then we jumped into the Black Friday and Cyber Monday and back to school sales and prom and graduation sales. Nobody in our industry had ever done anything like it. Wasn't nobody in the beauty supply store, them Asians and stuff, they weren't thinking about no back to school sale and Black Friday sale and prom and graduation and Valentine's stuff and all this stuff. And they didn't care about the community, Mary. Mary, I know one thing that you do, you're always out in the community. You always on TV. You do the Isaiah Care Factor. You doing these panels, these discussions. And what I learned when I got my degree from UHD was how important social responsibility was. So we got ownership, branding, social responsibility. That's one of the biggest pillars inside of She's Happy Hair. And Martell, I know with Black Wall Street, we do a lot of things in the community as well. So that's one of the kickers. That's how you become historical. You don't just go to the top of the mountain and get the money and get the influence and get the power and stay up there. You come back down, teach, lead, and impact the community. And then, hey, that's how you become historical. People write about you, talk about you, tell somebody about you, and all those other things. But yeah, let me get up off my horse, man. I just want to share that, man. We are Black history over here at She's Happy Hair. Because they don't be talking about us enough, man. You know what I'm saying? They need to go and put us in the history books before it's too late. Don't Michael Watts me. Don't wait till I pass away and then start posting about how much you love me and Marcus Bowers and Tina. Now tell me now. If you love Swishahouse like you say you do, he should have known before he passed. You know, so I want the same treatment, man. Shout out to She's Happy Hair.
Well, and so shout out to She's Happy Hair and acknowledging She's Happy Hair for Black History Month. But I want you to take it a step further because as you were talking, I thought, you know what, Marcus Bowers, you are right. And everything that you were saying could be its own little reel, and you need to do one with a voiceover. You could probably cut this clip, which you just did, but underneath it, have it overland over all your things that you've done. Because I mean, you know, if you don't toot your own horn, ain't nobody else gonna do it for you.
Is that what we're supposed to do, Martell? What do you think about it? Because I do ponder that from time to time, and I remember when we first started giving back to the community, everybody wasn't clapping. You know, you see some people, they like, hey, look at him. He always posting what they're doing. Look at him. They were trying to do it for these reasons. And I never got upset when people would be like, why are you posting this or why are you showing your give backs? I was just glad to be, you know, motivating those around me and not, you know, kind of ignoring the ones that wasn't helping. So what do you think about that, Tel?
So one of my billionaire mentors, Mr. Michael Roberts, one time I asked Mr. Roberts, I said, Mr. Roberts, what makes you different than me, right? Like, what's the difference? Minus the fact that you got $1 billion. He said, Martell, the difference between you and me is that I've told my story 1 billion times. And you, as an entrepreneur, you'll have 1 million followers, which I do. And people start to think that you don't have to tell your story. I own $1 million brand. I walk in, I think people supposed to know I'm Mr. Black Wall Street. I'm Martell Matthews or whatever I want to, like people just supposed to know. And he said, no. He said, I became a billionaire because every time I walk into the bank, every time I walk into a hotel, a restaurant, I have to tell my story. I don't expect people to know who I am. There's over 1 billion people on this earth. He's a billionaire, but he keeps telling his story. So a lot of us, as young entrepreneurs and millennials, and even young millionaires, we get to this ego inflated where we think we're not supposed to tell our story. And if a billionaire is telling me that he keeps telling his story, Marcus, I would say that it is right for what Mary's saying about telling your story over and over again. That it's not your ego; it's actually your duty and your mission to go and speak to everybody who does not know you. We got 1 million followers. There's 1,000,002 people who don't know us, and you have to continue to tell your story. So I'm gonna say that. Tell your story. Number two, Marcus, you said something where you asked about in school, in history class, right? How it only goes back to usually the 1900s and the 1800s. I'm going to challenge everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice to do something. I want you to go onto Google, and when you go into Google, I want you to research. I want you to search, how long has the African race been around? And then I want you to search, how long has the white race been around? Right? This is deep stuff, but we're gonna speak truth. If this is Google, this is not us. This is Google. The ABC company, by the way, is what they trade on the stock market. It's the ABC company. This is Google. If you look at that, it's going to tell you that the African race has been around of African approximately 300,000 to 250,000 years ago. 300 to 250,000 years, right? This is Google, by the way. It's not my resources. Then you say, how long has the white race been around? It's going to tell you, and I'm going to read verbatim. The European population developed relatively recent, with genetic studies indicating that genes responsible for light skin became prevalent in Europe around 8,000 years ago, while the lighter skinned, blue eyed population existed in Northern Europe around 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. The social construct of unified white race is much more than recent invention, right? So that's the late 17th century, 8,000 years ago versus 300,000 years ago. You go do your research. I challenge you to go look into it and look at the difference, right? But when you look and say, what's the opposition message and what's our message? This is the truth. The truth can only be told the right way. So I challenge everybody to check that out.
See, when you get to the 15 or 1800s and all that other type stuff, they just tell us about slavery and all that. Then, you get to the 1900s. That's when you start hearing a little bit about, some of the innovators, some of the inventors, scientists, entertainers, athletes, that type of thing. I want us to be Black history, though, too. Instant Black history. I want everybody that can hear the sound of my voice, do something to be remembered. Do something to get a park named after you, a street, where people create something that people can press play on as far as your life, a book, a content, leave some crumbs behind for the people that's coming after you, like the people that came before you did for you. That's the least you can do. That's the least you can do. I've been living that way, Mary, for so long, Martell, that, man, I only want to be remembered. That's why I'm doing so much online and teaching so much and trying to make sure that everybody has the information and not get left behind. Because to me, this is the Underground Railroad. Online, AI, sharing information. This is what the Underground Railroad looked like. It was underground before. We couldn't even talk like this before. Now we can be like, hey, you heard about the benefits? Hey, you heard they giving what's name out over here? You heard you can register for the, you know what I'm saying? Now we couldn't talk like that before. Hey, I read this book that changed my life. Here you go. You should read it too. We couldn't even read. So now that we where we at, I think we should take advantage of it and again do something to be remembered. It's all about instant Black history, not the ones that was way back when. We talking about right now. Now, how far back are we supposed to go? How far back can y'all go? Y'all remember anybody off rip that, how far, what's the latest, most historical Black person that you can think of off top of the dome? Because they taught us everything. Yeah.
You mean, okay, besides the people that's on this live right now, right? The most recent, I mean, we're living it. You said it best, and I think that I'm inspired today. Okay, and when I get off this live, I'm gonna create 3 pieces of cup milk: who, what, when, where, and going to challenge my brothers, Martell Matthews and Marcus Bowers, to do the same, right? 5 pieces of content that we can post on Black Wall Street of our who, what, when, where, and why. Because when we taught the master class this past weekend, I had one regret. I thought about it, and Martell, you just confirmed why I had that regret. It was a well deserved regret that I brushed through. Oh, you guys know who I am. Let me just skip through this and get to the meat and potatoes and teach you what you came, get you what you came here for. And I brushed past tooting my own horn because I'm humble, and let me just get to why you're really here for the sake of time and brevity. And so you just said the billionaires say, tell your story, and I'm a head itching. Tell your story, Mary. Tell your story. Okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you, Lord. I'm gonna tell my story next time. And so when we get off this live, I'm going to create 5 pieces of content: who, what, when, where, and why, for us to post on your Black Wall Street.
Now look, anytime you got a billionaire quote that one of y'all billionaire friends that told y'all, always come back and tell me. You know what I'm saying? Always come back and share that information. Be like, man, my billionaire friend once said, I'm going to be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, hey, come on now. What'd he say? What'd he say now? Because it's always gems. It's always gems. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he's a billionaire. He go to space all the time. We take vacations. He go to space all the time. Think about that. This guy makes billions of dollars on Amazon Prime Day. Not for the year, not for his lifetime. On Amazon Prime Day, Jeff Bezos makes billions of dollars. The only reason why he makes billions of dollars is because he's talking to a billion people. Using the CRM. Collecting data. He ain't going around talking to a billion people in person. Hey, you ever heard of Amazon.com? Let me show you my website. Make sure you follow us on the gram. He ain't hustling like that. He doing it totally different. And it look like it's working. So again, if you want to be a billionaire, you got to do what the billionaires are doing, man. So shout out to Jeff. Shout out to you, Mary. Shout out to you, Martell. Because even though we're not billionaires yet, we're doing the work. We're getting the information. We're implementing real time. And so that's how you compound and get the results somehow, some way. It's when you're doing nothing that you stay the same. We ain't doing that, man. We sharing information. We are implementing. And we going to become a billionaire one way or another. And this is the last thing, man. We all eat the same steaks, by the way. I'm not striving to be a billionaire. I just want to be successful. But the billionaires, the millionaires, and the thousandaires, they all eat the same steaks. They drive similar cars, wear some of the same clothes. So don't just be thinking and striving for the money. Strive for the passion, the success, the impact, not just the income. I'm not doing it for the money. We're just having $1 billion conversation right now. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. What's some last words you got from Mr. Martell Matthews?
My last words, as we were just talking about billionaires, right? I really thought like, man, the real goal in life is just to be grateful and happy. And so I want to tell all y'all who listening, smile more. Before you get on the phone with somebody, smile. Before you make a call, smile. When you wake up in the morning, smile. I know you may be you tired, your body ache, time that you got a lot of things to do, get the kids ready, do it. And just smile. Take more time to smile and enjoy your life. Because this thing passed you by fast, man. You look up and 10 years go by, 20 years go by. I was looking at my nephews the other day, like, damn, look at him. In middle school, almost in high school, like this thing that we call life goes by fast. So whether you are a type A personality like the individuals on this call who really get to it every day, or whether you're more relaxed and you kind of love just chilling, watching movies, whatever, smile more, enjoy your life, stay grateful, right? Stay grounded in whatever you stay grounded and enjoy your life. And then after that, take charge of your life. Come follow your boy. Follow me, Martell Matthews. If you want more of this type of content, whether it's insurance, whether it's digital marketing and building your brand, you can follow me at Martell Takes Charge on all platforms, or you can visit my website, martellmatthews.com. My phone number's on there. I'm very accessible, and I can help you grow, protected with your legacy. So appreciate y'all for having me on the call today. Much love.
All right. Well, Mary Jane Esquire here at the WallStreetWay.com, and I have truly, in the words of my grandmother, truly been blessed. Thank you two guys for being here today, and you will see us again.
Hold on, let me close out.
Black Wall Street win.
Hold on. Hold on. Before we close out now, hold on. Before we close out, hold on. Text
Okay.
Marcus to 888-111. Again, text the word Marcus to 888-111. I ain't know we was closing out, man. God bless you. Good night, man. See y'all next time, man. Peace out.
Yeah, get your clothes. Get your clothes.
Okay. Bye.
Peace out. All right. We are still live on some of these platforms, I'm sure. Black History Month. Be part of Black History now, man. That was a good call, man. Right in time for Black History Month. Great call. Oh, wow. Breaking news. Breaking news. You heard it here first. The Dallas Mavericks are trading. What's up, Tail? What's going down?
Hey.
Hey.
How y'all feeling? Smooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the first time. I thought that was a great first run.
Yeah. I think that's easily duplicatable, and we can like really chop that stuff up and give it some legs for the other social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only concern was the post on Instagram. I feel like maybe it's just made more for YouTube or something, because our frame was kind of weird on Instagram.
Yeah, I had to cut off on my Instagram too.
Save it. Make sure you save it. Save it, Martell. I don't know if you could say that video just in case, but I know the frame is different on the centering and stuff. So, for sure.
But what we can do though is once you take the clips from YouTube, the long version, and chop it up and put it on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
So it'll look different. Like you can pull it from your phone and repost it there. But I think going live, I ended mine very early because it looked weird.
And see, I had a lot of people join my live. They thinking I'm being messy on the She's Happy side. You know what I'm saying? We just talking business, baby. You know what I'm saying? Talking business, baby. But I'm finna stay on and still be going live at the same time from Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everything except for Instagram, and dive into some of these Epstein files. And
I know I did want to talk about that too.
Come on, we can do it together. We can do it together. I got it. It's the latest YouTube video that came out. I watched it the other night. It was 2 hours. I was up from like 2 in the morning to about 4, 5 watching that shit, and just started taking notes. And I'm coming at it from a financial education standpoint, not like him, raping or being a pedophile and none of that. Like, I'm not talking about the sex. I'm talking about like his connections, his network. This dude was a financier for all of the world leaders, not just politicians, but whoever in charge. And so because he was the finance analyst or advisor for these people, he was able to You know what I'm saying? They party with him, do all everything. That's really was his shoe in and shit. So it's just learning the shit that he talking about versus like talking about the gossip part. But that's how I was attacking it. What about you, man? What was the interest from the Epstein file thing?
19 Keys posted some shit, and he was like, either we gonna rise up and do a revolution, or y'all just complacent. I guess that's why I ain't touch it, because I don't really know what to, I'm about to record some content, but it's about to go down in America. I'm just happy that black folks realize that, yeah, it's about to go down. Y'all need to do a revolution, but we sitting this shit out. But we got better shit to do. It's y'all turn.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of black or white on white shit. My problem with it is that I feel like if you look at history, you'll see it's like the black community never really support the black revolutionaries. Like never. Like during the actual times, the even really Martin Luther King probably got the most support, but Malcolm X, the Black Panthers, all that, afterwards that had more support. But during the actual time of it, they weren't getting supported. You know what I'm saying? Very, very few people who support them, and their lives usually get completely destroyed, for the sake of the people. Which is how just as what history shows. History usually repeats itself.
Yeah, that's always been a issue with us. Shit, it's an issue with everybody. I mean, I wrote that. That's a chapter in my book. That exact thought that you had I wrote that 10 years ago because of that. It was like, hey, we got all these black leaders that aren't turned to other cheekers doing stuff, but then when they do stuff, they go to jail. They become martyrs, and then they get erased from the record books. Online, their lives get erased, and nobody celebrates them. They don't get any statues. I give you a prime example, and they hate when we bring these guys up. I'm talking about they hate when we bring up Gavin Long, the dude from Baton Rouge. Remember when Alton Sterling got killed? It was a guy that went to Baton Rouge and shot back. And then when Black Lives Matter was started, a lot of people don't know Blue Lives Matter started because of a veteran named Michael Xavier Johnson. He was out there in Dallas, and he decided to shoot back versus versus going to the press conferences crying, saying they shot my unborn baby, And what really triggered me was these dads with the parents, the kids that always go through these situations. These dads, because you have to do stuff, and what happens is in the past you've had other people do stuff because other people wasn't doing stuff, but then after other people do stuff, nobody does anything, which is a crazy situation to be in. It's like, do you help? Do you not? But if you do, it's like you crashing out, and that's the end of it. And nobody's going to, remember you. You're not going to be part of Black history, which is crazy because that's why you're doing it, for your people. But you're not going to be part of Black history.
The best thing we can do for Black people is stay alive. And so a lot of this shit, and I mean alive financially, economically, power-wise. And so, instead of trying to move loud, we gotta move. We gotta speak truth to power, but we also gotta move strategic and like ghosts. We better off.
We need to build. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta build and create, build the field. And so trying to honestly wake everybody up. I think it's get to what we gotta do. Speak to the ones who need to wake up and build. You know what I'm saying? Start buying shit. Start creating shit. Not just. I don't want to just be lip service. We talking billionaires because each of us on this phone could really be a fucking billionaire. So it's time to actually go do that. And you know what I'm saying? We talk along the way, but if all three of us are billionaires, we got 3 billionaires over the next 15, 20 years. If all three of us are billionaires, we can really make some fucking shit shake, right? Because we actually become what we talking about. So that's how I see us making this.
Okay, so speaking of,
what's that?
we gotta okay, I'm gonna get y'all that send the agreement around today for y'all signature. You said it's approved. Is it approved as is, or did y'all make any changes?
No, as is.
Okay, so I'll send it over for electronic signature on what that's checked. And then the next thing is, do we have a keyword that we're commenting on? Because I'm gonna try to make some content today. Today is my content day, so I'm gonna make some other content to post. And I want to say, comment the word masterclass, and we'll, So what keyword we using that y'all want me to promote?
It should be business.
Business or masterclass? I thought we was on the.
Yeah, I don't know which one, business or masterclass, but we probably want to log into that Black Wall Street Go High Level and verify.
Okay, y'all create one with masterclass so we can promote our masterclass.
Masterclass, so that way, no matter what we're talking about, right, they can tap in. We can kind of switch it up over the year.
Okay.
They join the A masterclass.
Okay.
Yep. So the on the Epstein side, are y'all interested in some of that stuff at all? And I'm asking because that's really what's gonna get the impressions going forward, at least for a little while. But what do y'all think about that? Is that outside of the brand?
Everything is on the brand.
Yeah.
As long as it revert back to the brand,
Yeah, I think I'll let y'all two dive into that though, because I ain't got the time to really research. I'm not keeping up with that shit. Like I said, I'm so busy. I like that y'all are holding me accountable, even going live for 30 minutes, right? But I'm truly in build mode, so I'm like, I ain't got the time for that one. But I'll let y'all do it because y'all got the energy and the want for it, and I think y'all will kill that.
For sure. Okay, Mary. And then what are you doing after this? I know with this content, is this stuff that we finna chop up, like we were saying? Everybody needs to chop up their own stuff.
I just put my MacBook on the charger. But yeah, I'm about to make some more content. Because that's my goal. I just want to start making more content.
Okay.
So I said I'm gonna create more pieces, who, what, when, where, why, and to promote this masterclass at the end of the month. And so everything I've got, I will probably throw our flyer on the back end, and we comment the word masterclass.
You know what I like?
I'm
I'm just sitting here thinking about something consistent, right? So maybe doing these lives or remotes or whatever, and having a discussion on, like I brought up Uncle Nearest, their real situation. Hey, what do you think about this? How would you handle this from a Lawrence perspective, entrepreneur's perspective? And then from there, it's like, hey, how about you click here so you don't have to go through this to protect your brand? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to get something that's real cut. Like, okay, we can be consistent with this type of content. Talk about, okay, this is business. This is the dispute. What do y'all think about this? Man, yeah, this is crazy. Okay, comment this word so you can protect yourself from going through this. You know what I'm saying? Just something just boom, boom, boom. Because there's always a dispute happening around us. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to bring it in. Protect your business. Click here to learn more, just as routine. But what do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think that's what we just did.
Yeah.
I think if we try to do a Black Wall Street Wednesday, every Wednesday at noon, we can start. That's something to be consistent around. Now, I think when it comes to, I think everybody should also be creating their own content.
Yeah.
And I think your own content should be to promote what you're doing on your own. And you can say, comment the word masterclass. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about, I'm going to be teaching the masterclass. Comment the word masterclass, and we'll send you the link to join our masterclass. Everything we need to do needs to be driving sales to the masterclass.
Yep. Hey, I got to hop off, y'all. I got a 1:30.
Okay. All right. Peace out.
Okay, bye.
Peace out.
Let's see what we got going here, man. Still online.